When I looked at the numbers, there were scary numbers.
Mm.
90% are women.
Yes.
And almost like more than a third of them are younger women. These are women that are younger than 50,
Hmm.
47 to 50, 53. So the issue that I have for me is when a busy emergency department is that when I see these young women with absolutely no cardiac risk factors, how can I force my brain to think of SCAD? How can I prevent myself from anchoring or from falling
Yes.
into the bias of this is something benign or minimal or maybe
Yeah.
something mental or psychiatric?
I think it just goes back to what we've been taught in medical school, physical exam, but also like symptoms. If a patient's coming in and there's nothing like blatantly obvious on the physical exam, but they have this story that is like very convincing, especially if they're a woman and they tell you they've had SCAD or they have postpartum period. Earliest is
Mm.
usually like a week out, but if they're presenting to you and they're telling you the story, I think it's worth doing some workup, EKG, get a troponin. If the EKG has obvious E elevations, you probably don't need to wait for the troponin. So I think it just goes back to really like whole person care and just like letting the patient teach you and not relying on just typical presentation of like elderly man, diabetes, hypertension, things like that.